So we continue now to study this great truth on marriage in a practical way. And we see that this is number 6 before we go any further in the marriage series. We see that due benevolence is brought forth as a key to successful marriage. And due benevolence is all these things, this kindness, this care, this love, this consideration, this gentleness. And when this is there in a marriage from both people, as Paul says it should be from both people, then they can come to a togetherness. They can come to a togetherness which shuts out the temptations that come to a married couple as well. Now, we want to move on a little bit, but we want to come back to the differences between a man and a woman and how these differences, when they come together, should be understood and worked on by both in the relationship. And this is really important to a good marriage. And when we understand this, then we will make wise choices. We won't burn bridges. We won't bring on situations that will cause the marriage to be torn or to be ripped or to be shredded by our actions or the mutual actions of both of us in heated moments. So these heated moments can be diffused right from the start. So anyway, I want to come back to this point later on and spend more time on it. Let's move on. The wife hath not power of her own body. So here is another important amplification by Paul of due benevolence. He is amplifying it. He is magnifying it. And this is one of the main areas in marriage that can cause problems. And he's talking about things generally, but also more specifically in the area of intimacy. So Paul is magnifying here that each one has to consider the other one's needs. Each one is to consider the other's needs. And so he says, the wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise, also the husband has not power of his own body, but the wife. So, our bodies. He's saying our bodies are not our own. Our bodies are not our own, they are shared. They are now shared. And this is like a contract. A marriage is like a contract where two people come together who are leading different lives. They might have lives which have many similarities, but they are living independent lives. They have their own way of receiving money, receiving goods, receiving their needs from their family or from going out to work or something like that. And then these two people come together and they form a contract before God that now they will share. Their lives will be shared. Their lives will be shared, and the two will become one. And that one new entity, that new entity is a shared entity. And that means that each has to be prepared to give and take. There must be give and take. There must be fluency in the marriage. In other words, the relationship must have due benevolence so that it can stretch, so it can expand when it needs to, so it can contract when it needs to. And when the two truly become one, then that connection is there such that when the stresses and strains of life come on that marriage, that the spiritual, the mental and the physical connection is so strong that that marriage will survive the issues of life. So God designed marriage to be a partnership. To strengthen two single people by becoming one unit. To strengthen two to become one stronger unit. And we'll look at this in a more practical way as we go through, but we also want to see that this due benevolence covers many points and many situations too. It's not just about the physical side of things, but Paul is emphasizing this physical side because this is where these people had their problem, and this is where many people today have their problem too. So he goes on to say, defraud you not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your inconstancy. So here he is continuing on this theme of physical union, the intimacy, the physical union should be maintained in the relationship. And in this way, it helps to cement the marriage. And that is because in a good relationship, two people give of themselves to each other in a intimacy which bonds them together. So we'll stop there and we'll continue in number 7. Thank you.